Hey guys, my name is Joe with Rago Fabrication, and today we're going to be installing the center console modular storage panel and bridge accessory in the 5th Gen 4RUNNER. So let's get into it. So to start with the install of these panels, the first thing you'll need to do is disassemble the center console. To do that, you'll start by removing the high-low shift knob, which just unscrews. Then you'll begin pulling up on the center console, one side at a time usually works best, and it just unclips, and you can just lift it up out of the way. Then you'll need to also remove the upper center console, and you'll do that again by just beginning to pull on each side, and you'll feel it unclip, and that will pull out of the way. There'll be an electrical connection on the back side that you'll have to disconnect. After that, there's 4 screws that you'll need to remove. One here, one just in front of it, which is a little difficult to get to, and then the same on the other side. After those are removed, there's 2 10mm bolts that you'll have to remove on either side of the shifter. And finally, you'll pull this small piece of trim out of the way so that it doesn't fall later. And lastly, you'll begin pushing each panel out to free it and give yourself some space for the drilling of the installation of the panels. So we're going to start with the installation of the passenger side panel, and to do this you'll have to drill 4 holes. Now how we recommend doing this is drilling the first hole after you have that marked, then installing that bolt into the mounting location before drilling the rest of the holes so that you have the panel lined up appropriately. So to line up the panel, you'll first want to hold it in place and align the top of the panel with the top of the plastic panel on the vehicle. Once you have that alignment, you can simply just mark the top hole. You can go ahead and drill that, and then you'll begin installing the fasteners. So you'll use the 1/4-20 bolt supplied with the washer. And once you have that bolt in, you can secure it with a washer and lock nut on the back side of the panel. This can be a little challenging to get to, but you can simply pull the panel out away from the center console to free up some room. Then you can use an 11mm or 7/16 wrench on the back with an Allen on the front side to tighten up the screw. And you just want to have this snug, not too tight as you need to move the panel around yet. So after you have that, you'll move the panel into the next position that you want, assuring that you have that flush alignment on top. Then you'll go ahead and drill the rest of the 3 holes, and then you can install the rest of the fasteners. So one thing that you need to pay attention to when you're drilling and installing the driver's side panel is if you have rear air conditioning, you need to watch out for the tube running through here. So you want to make sure that you don't drill too deep and go into that tubing. And also you want to make sure that you use the shorter 1/4-inch fastener at the bottom where there's not much clearance for that before the air conditioning tubing. So once you have the panels installed, you can then begin the installation of the factory components. If you also order the additional bridge crossover piece for this kit, you can install this at any time. And one of the great things about this is that it's really easy to take on and off. So if you have accessories mounted to it that you want on the trail, but that you don't want in your daily driver, it's just 4 bolts, 2 on either side, to remove this entire piece with all of your accessories attached. So let's go ahead and install that. So to install the bridge piece, you'll simply just slide it on the outside of the panels on your center console, line up the holes, and install the 1/4-inch fasteners on either side. So the great thing about this center console and bridge accessory is that you can install your favorite components that you want easily accessible to improve your trail and driving experience. So things like RAM mounts for your iPads or phones, or things like MOLLE bags that you want in a convenient location, even using a carabiner to install components, or ham and CB accessories can be added as well. To add the RAM mount, you can simply just use the ball end of the RAM mount itself, and using 1024 fasteners, you can thread them into the rivet nuts that are already in the bridge, so you don't need any nut, you just need the bolt to secure that down. Once that's secure, you can just use the RAM mount, which has all kinds of accessories that you can add to that as well. So you can just tighten that up, put that in any location you want, and then install whatever iPad or phone accessory that you have, so you can have that easily available on the trail, but you can also easily remove it simply by loosening up the RAM mount. So another great benefit of the bridge is that there's also areas on the side of it to mount additional accessories. So if you want your CB or ham radio easily accessible and in a convenient location, you can mount it to the side of the bridge. So to do that, you would simply just use whatever mounting bracket comes with the CB or ham radio. And again, using the number 1024 screws with the already pre-installed rivet nuts, you can install that accessory. After that bracket is installed, just install the CB or ham radio as the manufacturer requires for their bracket. So you can see that we have this outfitted with a lot of accessories, from things like MOLLE bags, even pocket knives or flashlights you could add onto the top of here or in the MOLLE. You could also mount your CB or your ham radio and have that easily accessible. Things like your cell phone or your iPad are also easily accessible as well. You still have plenty of room to move in and out of the transfer case, as well as your shifter. You can still even get a small drink into the cup holder. So this does inhibit some of the controls behind here, but again, these are on RAM mounts, so you can move them out of the way to access those controls.